this. There we go. Okay, go live. Hi, everyone. Me and Patricia have finally got this down where, yeah, we didn't need to jump on a half hour early to try to figure out how to make the tech work. So yeah, we're about a minute early right now. So I'm going to give it just a second to let you guys catch up, to let the notification go out so that you guys can jump in. And yeah, how about I wait about 2 minutes, and in the meantime you guys can tell me where you're from. You can tell me also how long you guys have been following my stuff. I'd love to know that. Yeah, and there's such a lag. And again, if you guys are here for the first time tonight, I just want to apologize. It's not going to be a very interactive platform because there is such a fucking lag. Like even now I don't see anything in the chat, but I know you guys are talking. You guys always do. So I'm going to give it a minute to catch up. Once I see that the chat is caught up, I'll get started. Okay, Texas. So that means you guys have heard me. Okay, we've got B Cripster in Texas. James, you've known me for a year. Okay, coming in from New York City, St. Louis, awesome. St. Louis, sorry, St. Louis. St. Louis, okay. Let's see. Okay, good. So now all the stats are working. New York, they've been following 3 or 4 years. That's awesome. So honored. Okay, I'm gonna give it a T-Rex in the house. Love it. Pen and paper, love it. Bath, Pennsylvania, following me about a year. Yo, mama's a lag. I love that. Couple months, cool. From Lufkin. Not sure where Lufkin is. Long Beach, LBC, love it. Okay, so I'm gonna give it another minute. I'm gonna give guys time to jump on. About a year, Riverside. When I first moved to California, I hung out in Riverside a lot because I was staying at my cousins in Chino. Reedley, California, awesome. For 3 months, cool, welcome. Okay, so you're kind of new. Who here has known me for less than a week? But then again, the lag is so fucking laggy. Well, listen, tomorrow, for those of you who don't know, tomorrow is the masterclass, the 3 steps to becoming a natural with women. It's a closed door event. You have to register to get in. You can register at jessicajdating.com/3 steps. And that's going to be more interactive. It's going to be in real time. You guys are going to get the Zoom link. So we'll be able to just talk one-on-one. And it'll be a little longer. So yeah, it's for those guys who are super committed and super serious about this. But either way, let me see how many of you guys are in here right now before I get started. Okay, we can get started, I think. Oklahoma. Okay, no podcast tonight. Sorry, no naked truth tonight. All clients were informed. Sorry, Justin. Just started following me. Awesome. That this is going to be happening in lieu of the naked truth. So, okay, guys, let's get started. I just want to say hi and welcome to day 4 of our 5-day challenge. This has been such a wild fucking ride, guys. You have no idea. Me and Patricia have been so happy to do this, but today we're going to talk about body language that amplifies everything we've talked about already. Body language that is going to amplify the emotions we've created from approaching, from creating those connections, and from the laughing and the flirting in a way where now neither of us can deny how we're starting to really physically feel towards one another, all right? Or how charged that sexual connection feels between us. So for anyone who is somehow new to these trainings at this point, I'm going to be super focused on this topic tonight because most of you probably already know. I hope all of you already know. You need to touch her. You just fucking have to, guys. I'm so sorry. None of you are here to create romantic connections without ever feeling the touch of a woman. Let's be honest. And if you think, no, I can't touch women these days, she has to make the move because of Me Too, then you'll need to just get the fuck out of here and go find like an internet catfish who will never meet up with you, or just pay a hooker to touch you then. Or you could just sit and wait for us to make the move on you because you're too scared, and then watch as women ghost and forget about you because you refuse to own the fact that you have a dick, and that's okay. We want it, guys. We want it, and we want you to make the move, but you might be too scared and stubborn to take charge for yourself, take charge with your dick and your desires to do so. But I digress. This is for anyone who's actually interested in moving things forward to feeling a woman's touch, to holding a woman, kissing a woman, making love to a woman that you are now having all the craziest sex with because you created all this chemistry with. For those of you guys who are here for that, we need to talk about body language and physicality. Now, as much as I hate to say it, I hate saying like these days, I really fucking hate saying it, but most men these days are becoming more and more passive and less proactive when it comes to moving things forward and utilizing touch. Because maybe they're buying into this whole victim mentality of no, men can't be men anymore because women hate men and Me Too. But again, guys, I hate that I have to remind you, Me Too was about women finally getting justice for being raped and sexually assaulted. It wasn't about men who we have feelings for moving things forward with us. That was and never was what it was about. And if you have a problem with women getting justice for being raped and sexually assaulted, and you think it's the reason you can't touch a woman now, then you're just making an excuse for yourself. And you're probably buying into this excuse because you don't know how to move things forward with women and you don't feel confident in doing so. And you know what? That's okay. But you have to be able to own that fact first, because the second you come clean about not feeling confident in moving forward because you don't know how to, and again, how can you feel confident in doing anything if you don't know how to? Once you finally admit to yourself that this is the case, we can finally do something about it. So for any of you who can admit that this is the case, or for anybody who's just a little scared to touch a woman or move things forward, or maybe you usually get rejected when you do try, this will no longer be your experience after tonight. All right. I can't even tell if you guys are with me. The chat has such a lag. So I'm just gonna keep going, guys. And for anybody who is new tonight, I'm Jessica J, former marriage and family therapist and Playboy radio show host turned dating coach for men who started in this business working with other dating coaches and pickup artists. And what they used to do for students who were too scared to escalate, or guys who just didn't force themselves on women, was they hired hookers for them, or they made them go to a strip club several times a week because they thought that that would help them get comfortable with touch. But the reason this doesn't work is because you're paying a woman to touch you. And how good about yourself can you feel when you haven't gotten a woman wanting your touch without you having to pay her? That's why a lot of guys just won't pay for it, to be honest, because you actually want the ability to get women wanting you, wanting to be with you and wanting to be touched by you and wanting desperately to go to bed with you. And that's fine. That's a natural part of life. That's a natural part of being a man, guys. And paying to have a woman touch you is not part of the attraction process at all. But I'm going to show you how to get women touching you in ways that excites us and compels us to do it, even if you don't feel so good about doing it right now. Because when you have a woman with her hands all over you, it'll be that much more encouraging for you guys to do it yourself, right? And that's what we're going to go over tonight, is how to take everything we've talked about until tonight. Approaching on Monday, connections on Tuesday. Sorry, approaching on Sunday, connections on Monday. Laughing and flirting last night, and making us feel like we absolutely have to physically feel you. And more so, you're going to feel absolutely compelled to, you can't stop yourself from fucking doing it, excited about touching us too, because that's you'll see that that's how bad we want it. Sound good? Okay, and if you guys haven't signed up yet for tomorrow's masterclass, where we're going to tie everything up together to get you doing it on autopilot, where you don't have to think about, oh God, is it time to move things forward? You won't have to have that process go through your head ever again. Make sure you do so at the end. Patricia's going to throw up the link if you haven't seen it yet. In which case I'd be goddamn surprised if you haven't, especially if you made it this far. But all right, let's get right into it tonight, guys. So before you even touch her, it's important that you are able to match and mirror her actions, because doing so is a way of joining us on an emotional level. Let me explain. My AC just went on. I hope it doesn't distract you guys. Okay, so now most of you think that it's a bad thing to connect with us women emotionally when we first meet, right? Some of you have been told, no, you can't connect on an emotional level. She'll think of you as a girlfriend. Don't do this, guys. I see it in my comments all the time on YouTube. And I'm going to stop you right fucking there if you believe this shit. Because connecting to her emotions and connecting in the moment is key to making us feel like we're already physically connected. So some of you already know that I go to Tony Robbins events. I'm a big fan of the guy. He always says that motion creates emotion. That's why when you're sad, like get up and work out, go out and do something, get your body moving, because your body is going to change your emotional state. Your emotions are going to, influence your emotional state. But like the cyclical process I talked about last night with cognitive dissonance, emotion obviously also creates motion. And you guys already know this. Think of the people you see like waving their arms around like me, or jumping up in excitement, or just throwing punches at each other. Those are physically manifested emotions. So when you guys mimic her actions through the act of mirroring, where you clap your hands because she's clapping, or you're finger pointing when she's finger pointing at you, or maybe you're just nodding along as she's nodding, or just positioning your body the same exact way she is. This is a way to match her emotions physically. It's a nonverbal way to convey empathy, where she not only feels emotionally connected to you, but by seeing you physically match her, her brain now logs that as a physical connection on top of an emotional connection. I'm not sure if I said this yesterday, but I think I said something yesterday about saturating different receptors in her brain. I can't remember. When you can stimulate a woman on a mental, let's think about different parts of the brain, stimulating her on a mental, emotional, and physical level, which requires her brain to fire in different receptors in her brain. You are now literally occupying more space in her brain. Stay with me for a second. And how do you think us women feel about men who occupy a lot of space in our brain? Think about that for a second. And our brains are our biggest erogenous zones. Exactly. So while mirroring gets her to feel an even more intensified connection to you on both the mental and emotional level, it also signals to her through our shared actions that we are now also physically connected as well. Does that make sense? I'm going to let that sink in for a second while I drink some water. So at this point, the both of you are feeling more and more and more emotionally connected, meaning there's more sparks, there's more chemistry, where she's laughing and blushing, giddily screaming at you. You're probably also laughing and blushing and giddily screaming and clapping. At this point in the interaction, I'm already playfully shoving the guy. I'm already grabbing his hands in mine. At this point, I already know that I felt compelled to touch him. And if she hasn't touched you by now, it's time for you to do so. But do you guys see how at this point you would feel that much more comfortable and excited to be there and be moving things forward with her? I hope y'all said yes, because you should be. So let's now talk about connecting the dots from you to her. Excuse me. Okay, so, excuse me. Like I said, everything, excuse me, I'm just burping up my ice cream. Like everything else, connection is key, especially when it comes to your body, your movements. Your actions got to match your words. But also at this point, so long as your words are coming from a genuine place, meaning they're personally connected to you, remember, personal relevant statements from day 1, day 2, day 3. And as long as your words are connecting and engaging, and your words are making her and you laugh and feel that much more excited about one another, your actions are just going to follow suit. And when you're feeling good in your own skin as yourself and feeling even better that she's obviously having a good time interacting with you, how you're sitting and standing and walking and talking at this point alone is just, it's going to give off a much different feel than before you started talking like this, where you're going to feel physically freer to literally connect your skin to hers because she's responding to you so much more positively and excitedly. It is reinforcing to your brain that this is good, this is great, we love doing this, let's get more of this. You're going to feel compelled to touch your hand to hers, your leg to hers, your arm to hers. And not only will you feel fine doing so, it's going to feel natural, guys. In fact, at this point, if she isn't already touching you and making you feel comfortable with her touch, she's desperately waiting for you to do it. So let's talk about how. Now, a lot of you guys might think, well, you got to touch a woman no matter what the second you start talking so she knows you want her. I wish nothing, that sounds fucking aggressive, bro. Like, chill out. Nothing's worse than guys who just randomly touch from the door because they think they have to. And this is why all you good guys, all you nice guys think you can't because of the Me Too movement. Because deep down, you know that it doesn't feel right to just force yourself to touch a woman for the sake of doing so. And then you get self-conscious about it and you get in your head and then you start overthinking it. And then you feel like, fuck, I just gotta touch her. But then with that, I just gotta, it makes you feel worse about doing it. And before you know it, you've convinced yourself that you can't touch her because of Me Too. Am I right? Does this sound about right, guys? Here's the thing. Touching a woman will feel natural once you've done everything we've talked about since Sunday, step by step, the way we've built it up day after day, because you will feel that connected and excited and that good about her. And what's even better is she'll feel that way about you too. And she'll be expecting you to touch her at this point. And if you don't, oh Lord, help that girl. She'll think that it's because you don't like her. We'll think that, oh God, he hasn't touched me, probably because he's not into me and he doesn't want to leave me on. And then we'll feel stupid for misreading your signals because we women, we look for signs too, guys. And then we're going to disappear as fast as you created those super awesome connections and sparks. But in order to start feeling good and excited about touching a woman, all you got to do is this, guys. So I want you to touch her when you both laugh. If you have my Speak to Spark Arousal program, I call this touching on high points. Or touch when the both of you say like, oh my God, me too. Oh my God, you're from Jersey, me too. Oh my God, you're from Connecticut, me too. Oh my God, we both like Tupac, me too. Ironically, we're going to touch on the Me Too's. Because what you're doing is you're touching on high points and connecting points. And when she feels your skin to hers during these emotional connections, it strengthens the connection we feel to you in our brain and in our body. And again, the more senses of ours you can activate, like I talked about earlier, the more space you're literally taking up in our brain. And common sense, what does it mean if you're taking up more space in a woman's brain? Exactly, she's thinking about you more. And once you get us thinking about you outside of the activation parameters from which you stimulate us, that's when you've got us. Because again, what did I say about cognitive dissonance? If this is the first time you're hearing me talk about cognitive dissonance, I'll explain right now. If you can create an automatic action in our bodies without us having the forethought of doing it without us thinking about doing it first or making a conscious effort to do it, our brains then catch up with our actions later by convincing us that we wanted to do said action. And because the most charged memories are the emotional ones and the physically emotional ones, where you get us, or when you get us automatically thinking about you, which we will, if our memories of you are that emotionally and also physically emotionally charged, when you get us automatically thinking about you, when you're not speaking to us, when you're not touching us, when you're not even there in front of us, our brains convince us that we're thinking about you because we want to. And then we convince ourselves that we want to be thinking about you because we want you. Does that make sense? I'm going to repeat that, guys. When we automatically start thinking about you, when you're not there in front of us, our brains are like, oh shit, we're thinking about him. Oh my God. Well, I guess it's because we want to be thinking about him. And then when we convince ourselves that we want to be thinking about him, we want him. We want you. Okay, so now that we've mirrored, we've connected skin to skin on high points and connecting points, let's talk about your overall walk and talk when you see women before you even open your mouth. So you'll hear a lot of dating advice out there address the fact that you have to walk tall and be confident and posture like an alpha in order to get her to see you as an alpha. And a bunch of you probably fall victim to this whole just fake it till you make it mentality. But here's the thing. If your walk isn't getting women to approach you, if your walk and talk isn't getting us to touch you first, or if it doesn't have women chasing you down to meet you, your fake it till you make it walk isn't working. But here's why. Our bodies, again, Google this shit. I don't make this shit up. Our bodies usually don't like to be incongruent with how we actually feel. It's not natural to. You either have to be a trained actor who got that way because they're good at dissociating, or you have to be a literal sociopath. And more so, how can you be confident in your body language with women if you feel nervous or you're unsure or you're second guessing yourself all the time? This is the biggest reason why clients who leave our program don't realize what they're doing differently around women, that women are now approaching and coming onto them. I actually just got out of a coaching call with a client. He didn't tell me if I could tell this story, but whatever. I'm not going to name names. He just told me, Jess, I got to tell you the crazy story. This has never happened to me in my life. I was at the bar last night and these two girls, super fine. I started talking to them. And by the end of the night, the one that I was really attracted to, the one that I wanted, grabbed my phone, put her number on my phone, texted herself and was like, we're hanging out this weekend. And he was like, that's never happened to me in my life. And I screamed so loud. I'm not going to scream at you guys now, and he didn't know. He's like, I don't know what happened, Jessica. But I could just see it in him. He's walking and talking differently, period. The reason being is that in gaining the knowledge on what to do, gaining the skills on what to do, and using this shit repetitively, my guys now feel better and better and better anytime they come across a woman, to the point where they don't even realize they're walking differently around women. And that's what it means to walk with confidence. That's what it means to exude that magnetism, that charm, that charisma. For instance, a woman with a black belt in karate who's also got guns, walking alone at night is going to walk much differently than a woman with no ninja skills and no guns. Or to bring it closer to home, and I'm sure you guys know for a fact, a newbie at your job on their first day is going to walk into your office or your workspace a lot differently than you walking into that office or workspace. That's why James Bond walks into the room the way he does. He knows he has the ability to kill any man who comes his way, or can have any woman he crosses paths with. Half the time, if you guys watch these movies, he doesn't even approach these women. They approach him just because of how he walked into the room. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, and all of this comes with knowing how to attract women. step by step, every step of the way. And having it ingrained in your brain and body so well that you don't have to stop and think before you need to do it. It just happens when you want to do it. And that's what it means to be a natural with women. So at this point in the training process, guys, day 1 to today, you have all the steps. You have the approaching formula. You have the formula to create and intensify connections. You know how to get women laughing and flirting with you from last night. And now you have what it takes to truly move things forward physically with a woman. I gave you actionable steps every fucking day. You guys can do it in a way where if she's not moving things forward with you first, you're feeling naturally excited about doing it yourself. And if you guys tune in tomorrow, I'll tell you exactly how to get this shit down as fast as fucking possible and on autopilot, so that this is just how you are with women from this day forward or from tomorrow forward. So for anybody looking to just do just that, and also for anybody who wants the replays of all these recordings as well, don't forget to sign up for tomorrow's private masterclass, 3 steps to becoming a natural with women, where you can take what I taught you in these last 4 days, including what I taught tonight, and get it into your muscle memory, get it on autopilot, get it becoming an embodiment of who you are to women moving forward. Patricia, if you could throw the link in the chat. And also y'all can always go to jessicajdating.com/3 steps. Because like I say, guys, it's not enough just to know this stuff. You've got to get your body moving and doing it. And doing it automatically without having to stop and think about the steps when you're sitting right in front of a woman you want. And that's exactly what we're going to go over in tomorrow's masterclass, is getting it to become a permanent part of your personality. So guys, sign up now. You have 24 hours to do so starting now. I'm charging for this when I said I would last year, but again, I also want to keep the motherfuckers out. You guys, I know that you guys in this chat, you come to me with the stories, you come to me with the shit you're struggling with. I'm gonna cry, I'm PMSing. And to see guys talk shit to you really upsets me. So this is for the guys who are serious about this. This is for the guys who know that they want to get this handled and really want my help. So that's why I'm charging for it. We're going to start charging $150 for it after tomorrow, but right now, between now and tomorrow, it's $14.99. So again, you now have all the steps, guys. You have all the steps to get women wanting you just as bad as you want them. Now let's just get it on autopilot tomorrow. So our last day. So, well, not our last day, but thanks for tuning in tonight. And I hope to see all of you guys in there tomorrow. And remember, and if you can't make it tomorrow, you're gonna get the recording just by signing up. But I hope you guys do come on tomorrow, even though you do just get the recordings again, because we're gonna be able to interact with one another. It's not $150 now. Right now, it's $14.99. So yeah. Sign up right now while you still can. It's going to be at the same time tomorrow. We're going to go a little longer. So if you guys, have some shit going on, please bear that in mind. It's not just going to be a half hour. But either way, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thanks for tuning in tonight. This has been an awesome 4 days together. And I can't wait to wrap everything up tomorrow with the icing on the cake, how to get it on all on autopilot. All right, guys, you have a good night. Take care. Ending now.